blue target, 1.
Surrender, I think it's surrounded.
Green target, 2. Score, red target, perfect. Yellow target, 1. Orange target, 2. Perfect. Blue target.
No, liczy teraz dobrze. Teraz takiego zobaczyć, jak było widać tam.
Daj się stamtąd, bo ona przeszkadza tym sędziom.
So, Goldeck, you're on deck.
Dałeś mu kartę? Kasia zrobiła wypłacić? To temu panu trzeba dać, tak?
Ale później. Karolina mówiła, żeby live'a zrobić.
Starting that red, clockwise. Pass the red, ready. Time and again, red target. Turns over fairly quickly. As soon as a line is straight, its only job is to fall. So you want it to be a loop for as long as possible. But a 30-foot section of fly line quickly comes straight. So one of the cool things about angler's distance is you don't need a lot of space for it. But so it seems like it's simple. It's equivalent to a 10 or an 11 weight rod. You can wrap your head around it, but it's really finicky. So your basic casting fundamentals, which I did not exhibit in my bass bud game, are exceedingly important. You guys can see the end of the orange line as I pick it up off the water, and the shooting line is green. Now I have 0 overhang. Now I have about a foot of overhang. Now I have a 3 foot of overhang. So overhang is the distance of the back of the head to the tip of the rod. And you want overhang when you cast this game because of your wingspan. You want to learn to haul. You want to haul for this for sure. So half of your wingspan, say my wingspan is 3 foot. Now the wind's going to go the other way on me. If I don't have overhang, I'm going to bring the head back in the guide, clickety-clack, clickety-clack the whole time. The second idea is that overhang inhibits loop turnover. It's kind of, if you give me this, scientifically it's not quite the same, but it's a bit like the rear taper of a fly line. It stabilizes the loop form for a while. The more overhang you can manage when you cast, the better you are, up to a point. So given the length of the head and your skill level, you want as much overhang as possible. Too much overhang and you'll get a wobbly loop. So that's okay. Look at the back loop. I'm going to add a bunch of overhang and it starts to fall apart on me. I have to lengthen my stroke for that longer section of green line as I lengthen that. At some point there's too much for me and it'll start to turn into wet noodles. It crumbles and it won't turn over. It'll just fall on you. So if you think about the head as rope and the shooting line as string, that string can't tell the rope what to do. You're reversing Mother Nature there. It's a shooting system. It's not designed to carry and false cast and false cast and false cast and false cast. as well as it's not designed to slip line while you false cast to manage distance. You wind up, in this case I'm going to roll it to the water surface, decide on my overhang, make one cast, and then send it, shoot it. That's what it's designed to do. When you start false casting till the cows come home, nothing good happens. I want to say it, but I can't swear. Stuff happens, it falls apart, you start ticking, you lose tension. So it's designed to shoot.
You shoot on the back?
You can shoot on the back. There's schools of thoughts on that. There's school of thought on that. You can manage a couple different false casts, and the reason we watch our back cast is to see a couple things. I want to make it as two-dimensional as possible. I don't want a third-dimensional. I don't want a swinging back cast. I also want to look at its aspect, its angle as it hangs down when it straightens. So if I'm going to pick this line up off the water, see the angle of the line that's in the air? That's actually the angle I want to send the fly line forward, the trajectory. It's like a seesaw, right? And I'm the fulcrum. I want the line to be a little lower in the back so I can send it high in the front, especially with a high density, a sinking line. Floating lines, not so much. You get kind of diminishing return. And so when I watch my back cast, I'm not purposely throwing it low, because I'm going to wind up ticking, and it's not going to help here. You won't get demerits for it, but it's not going to help you make a successful cast. Mostly though, what I'm looking for is a fairly level, high back cast, and then I'm letting gravity and it straighten, but before it hits the water, then I look just like an architect's drawing. That's a solid line, and then I'm dash, 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 dash. I'm continuing that in what we call 180 degrees, a straight line. So that's as you guys see it in profile, right? In elevation in front of you. And then if a bird saw the cast from above, you also don't want any squiggles. So I want my cast to have a length and a height, but I don't want any width to my cast. The loop should come straight at you and straight back, straight at you and straight back. As soon as you start swinging it around, which is one of my major faults when I let it go, you throw these shanks or these hooks in your cast. Okay, so I'll make a couple casts here. You'll have a box to stand in. It's really not an issue. You have 2 minutes of prep time, which include getting the line out and then bringing the shooting line back in. During your prep time, I'm getting ahead of myself here. During your prep time, you can choose not to use it. Once you have all the line off the reel, just say I just peeled off, 80-foot line. And this is going to be an issue with the wind, all this fine line. Once I have it on the ground, I can wait for the wind. Even prep time, I can use my prep time up. Or during prep time, there's a strong breeze coming, and you want a tail breeze for angler's fly. It's exceedingly helpful to straighten it out, especially the leader at the end. During prep time, if I decide, actually I feel pretty good, I can yell score in the air before the fly comes by me. So there's a bit of timing issue there, but as you're coming forward, if you decide you want to let one go and your time now is going to be in, you yell score, and from there on in we'll measure your cast.
So you can cast during prep time?
Oh yeah, prep time is for casting, it's for warm up, it's for prepping your line as well. Does that make sense? Yeah, do you want to get by? So we have a swirling wind here. A few seconds ago we had the ideal wind. Now we don't. So I would wait. We know that when you do this, you kind of straighten the line up. We're not going to measure that cast. We know when you send it.
do tego momentu.
And Eddie, we're gonna lay these casts down on the concrete
Well, yeah, I
as
mean,
close as possible.
10
Ale
feet
ile
on
mamy
each
rzutów,
side would
dwa?
be acceptable.
So we're gonna run a tape measure down the center of the concrete and just pretend that I'm looking at you. We're on that. Yeah. So you aim, you compensate for the breeze, for the wind. But if your fly lands over here, we can measure that. It's more of a guesstimate at that point because we're not going to start moving the tape back and forth. Correct.
Correct. It's time-based?
So you have four minutes, right, for angler fly? 2 for prep and 4 in the box? No. 5. So you have 5 minutes. And what you're going to do, I guarantee it, you're going to get up there and flail away and you're going to wear yourself down until you can't make any good casts anymore. And it's especially true with single-handed and two-handed. You'll get tired. So
And
my
it's as many
suggestion,
casts as you can score during that time?
yeah, as many times.
We're going to set this casting station up at the end, so you got 170 foot to the end of the pier. And if you can cast that far in this wind, we'll keep going off the pier then.
So Eddie, are we going to stretch lines for people?
We're going to do everything. We're going to stretch lines. We're going to have everything measured out there.
All right, because I have a nice breeze. I'll make, this won't go all that far. So I want to throw the loop high. Snap it up high like that. Yep. What did I do? That was not demonstrative.
Tam już nie ma nic. Masz czerwone całe oko.
So we're not
Jeszcze to,
allowed
co
line
wyciągnięte
gillies
z Europa, to
with
jest
angler's fly. Once it's my responsibility as caster to manage my line, manage my fly, etc. Single hand distance and salmon fly, you can have a gilly.
Hey, Craig,
Yeah.
I don't think you said anything about the floating line that you're using compared to the,
I
T19.
did. You must have been talking in back of the class.
oh, maybe.
Yeah. So predominantly here in the States, we cast with our dominant foot in the rear. Sometimes you might want to cast it in this way. I'm still not in that. But I would suggest for you beginner guys to cast with your dominant foot back, and it gives you a little bit of stroke length. Stay connected, and then hit it. Okay, that's the thing that's gone on too far.
Okay, so thank you, Craig. We're going to go right into the quarter ounce.
Orange target. Green target.
Now,
2.
Brain freeze.
White target. Perfect. Nice shot. Red target. Red target, David. Red target. 2. Perfect. Orange target, horrible. Orange target, there you go. Orange target. Green target. Well, perfect. Green target, Larry.
2. Green target, Carl. 4-1. Score 2. White target, Larry. Score 2. White target. Score 2. Orville, red target. Score 2. Larry, red target. Yeah, white, yeah, red target. Score 2. Red target. Score 2. Second round, yellow target. Orville. Score 1. Yellow target, Larry. Score 2. Score perfect. Score 1. Score 2. Orange target. Score perfect. Score 1. Score perfect. Score 2. White target. Score perfect. Score 2. White target. Score perfect.
Odbij go wysoko do góry.